This topic is going to be gas and stowage. It's essentially just saying how much gas that you have available to you when doing any kind of a diving or even a chamber operation. This is very important, and especially as you become supervisors, you're going to want to know this number because you're going to be using it to figure out what your capabilities are to do all sorts of different stuff in diving. So let's start off with what it's about. The equation for it is you're going to take your ATA multiplied by the floatable volume of your flask and multiply that by the number of flasks you have. And that's going to give us our total standard cubic feet. And that's going to be our gas and stowage. So first off, you're going to look on your gauge to figure this number out. It's going to give you PSIG reading. We're going to do a conversion for that like we showed in earlier videos to get ATAs. Our floatable volume, it's in the diving formulas manual, so you can just look up there and check it out, or it could be it's also written on there. It should be in the PSOB as well. But then you're going to take that number and you're going to multiply that by the number of flasks that you have holding that same volume. So keep in mind, if you're using two different flasks and they're not the same volume, you don't just multiply that number by 2. You would just add them together. But this just makes it easier because most systems have the same flask size in them. And that's going to give you your SCF. So let's start off with an example of this. Say we have one rack of a Mark III lightweight diving system jammed to 3,000 PSI. So we're first going to start off and do our PSIG conversion. So we know that we have to do 3,000 plus 14.7 over 14.7 to give us our ATAs. So we did this earlier, but I'll just run through it real quick. Watch your calculator if you forgot. Plus 14.7 equals that, divided by 14.7 is equal to, we'll just say 205.08 ATA. So now that we have that, we're going to say 205.08 ATA times the floatable volume, which you look up in the formula manual. It tells you it's 0.935 per flask. And then we're going to multiply that by, we'll say we just have 3 of them. So all you do is once you have that set up, you multiply these numbers across to get your answer. So 205.08 times 0.935 times 3 is equal to 575.25 standard cubic feet. Now we're trying to figure out how much we do have. So once again, this is another rounding issue just to kind of be cognizant of while you're doing these equations. If you're going to report how much gas you have available, and this is how much you have, if you said you have 576 because you rounded up available, you really don't, okay? That would be incorrect. So you're going to round down and say that you have 575 standard cubic feet available to you. And that would be your final answer for your gas and stowage. Gas and stowage doesn't just say air, it's mixed gas, oxygen, air, whatever you're working with there.